All right, guys. Today we're joined here by Michael Singh and myself, Bilraj Yogra, here at Sydney Sikh's Sports Dinner and Dance today. And a little introduction on Michael. He's the ongoing treasurer of the Australian Sikh Games, and he's going to give us a little bit of information on that today. How are you today, Michael?
I'm good, thanks, Bilraj. How are you? Enjoying the evening?
Yeah, it's been a good evening. There's a big turnout here in Sydney, and I think it's all in the support of the Australian Sikh Games that are happening in the Easter long weekend.
That's right, yep. The Australian Sikh Games and the Sydney Sikh Sports Club, which has been involved in the Games for the last 30-odd years, which is a pretty phenomenal achievement to have that longevity. And the Australian Sikh Games for 2018, they're being held in Sydney. So all of the sports clubs and community clubs in Sydney have come together and working together collectively to deliver these games. They're a big undertaking these days. Roughly 2,000 athletes, probably 60,000 spectators over 3 days during the Easter long weekend. So it requires a team effort. There are about 6 or 7 Sikh sports and cultural clubs in Sydney, and they've banded together, formed a committee, and are working towards delivering those games.
Yeah, fantastic. And as Michael said, it's on the Easter long weekend, which is the 30th of March to the 1st of April. And just a little bit more information on what sports will there be at this event?
Quite a few. There's roughly about 11 or 12 sports, with the main ones being kabaddi, hockey, cricket, so some of the traditional Indian sports. Football is probably the largest sport by the number of participants. Volleyball, basketball, netball, tug of war, athletics. So there's something for everybody at these games. For veterans, for seniors, for juniors, for women's and girls teams. So we're trying to cover all bases and get the whole community involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to add to that, the two other sports are tennis and touch footy as well.
Yeah, tennis, touch football, and
badminton. There we go. So they're all the sports that are happening here in Sydney and the long weekend. And we hope to see everyone from around Australia, and hopefully we can get some more international guests as well, which we traditionally do get from Singapore and New Zealand.
Yep. That's right. Singapore, New Zealand, Malaysia are very strong in hockey, so they normally send a team along. In the past, we've had teams from the UK and other places, so it's recognised, I guess, globally. Kabaddi, for example, there'll be live streams of that tournament across the globe, so it's got a very big following in Canada, the UK, US, and of course India. So we'll be beaming that across the globe, so that's fantastic.
Perfect. So where is the event actually being hosted?
So the games will be held at the Crest Sporting Complex, which is located in Bass Hill, which is in the Bankstown area. It's the same venue that we used in 2012, and it's actually one of the few venues in Sydney that can actually accommodate an event of this scale and have the diversity of sports that we have on offer. So soccer, cricket, hockey, all in the one place, along with athletics. A new step that we're taking for 2018 is we have the Olympic velodrome that was used for the Sydney 2000 Olympics on site there. We used it for the opening ceremony in 2012.
Yep.
And the plan in 2018 is actually to install a portable indoor sports floor there, so we can have netball as well as volleyball accommodated in the same venue along with all the other sports. So that will be a very positive step. We can showcase more of the sports in one place, and those sports get some pretty good exposure as well.
Absolutely. All right, that's fantastic.
Australian Sikh Games have traditionally been the premier sporting competition for the Sikh community in Australia, but over time it's taken on more of a cultural aspect. So we're planning a number of events in 2018 off the field. The main one being the cultural evening, which will either be held on the Friday or the Saturday night during Easter. It'll be a fantastic event. We will be inviting a number of Bhangra teams from Sydney and around Australia to come and compete and put on a performance for the audience. So that will be one of the main events that we do. There's also the Sikh Forum, which is an event that will be running on the Saturday during the Easter break. And the focus there will be Sikh history, the place of Sikhism in modern Australia, and other topics which people can actually submit and contribute to. People can come and speak and give a lecture if they would like to. There'll be details available on our website very shortly on how to participate, either as an attendee or as a speaker. But that's another event that we'll be showcasing. There'll be quite a few dignitaries and sponsors and community leaders in attendance. So we'll recognise everybody during an official welcome, along with cultural performances out on the field. So hopefully we'll have thousands in attendance to whom we can showcase, our culture, our religion, and some of the values that go with that. So Bhangra and Gidda performances, Gatka, and so forth, as well as a parade of all the teams in attendance as well. So that's some of the action that's happening sort of off the field.
Fantastic. So just to sum it up, we've got the Sikh Forum happening as well. We've got the cultural aspects happening with the Gidda and Bhangra concerts that's going to happen as well. And to sum up with it as well, we've got a Lungar happening across all 3 days of the competition, available for all the players as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So with any Sikh event, whether it's a wedding or at the local Gurdwara or temple, Langar is always the centerpiece of those events. And Langar is a community kitchen, basically, where everybody from the community is welcome for a free meal. It's usually held between 12 and 2 during lunchtime, and we'll have thousands of people coming through the turnstiles and participating and taking part in that Langar. We're also very fortunate to have a major sponsor who has offered to help us deliver that Langar. It's a very costly affair when you're trying to feed 60,000 people over 3 days.
What's our budget looking like for Langar just for this tournament?
The budget is upwards of $100,000. So it's
Just for Langar, that is, yeah?
just for Langar, and then for the overall event, it's probably closer to $400,000, and that includes the value of some of the donations that we get from the community. There's a lot of fruit and other consumables that come in from around the country, from Queensland, from South Australia. People do give very generously. So the overall budget is about $400,000. So it's a very large undertaking for the community.
So just as you heard from Michael as well, it's a big undertaking. So we reach out to everybody within the community who's in Sydney and around Australia to come together and help contribute to this amazing tournament that happens annually across Australia. So if you want to reach out, become a sponsor, have a community stall there, reach out to myself and Michael here, and we'll be able to get you in touch with the right people as well. So once again, Michael, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thanks, Balraj.
Varjia Khalsa, Varjia Fete, tuning out from Sydney, Australia.